like always, want to appreciate our Patreons. Thank you guys for everything that you do to allow us to do the simple stuff that we're able to pull off on the channel, man, and do these reviews and just have fun talking about different entertainment and stuff. And one good thing is I won't have to use this too much anymore on any of these things because of the simple fact that it looks like that thing may be over. The strike may be over. Looks like the actors and the writers may be able to get back to work. Maybe they can work on some of these things that we like to enjoy in entertainment, TV, and movies and everything else. Get back and do all these things and all this stuff, and maybe it was just a much needed break. You know what I'm saying? To get everything refreshed. And all that good stuff. With that being said, let's jump into it. This is what is this, episode 4 of season
3?
Episode 3. Yeah, episode 3 of great 30 coins, man. 30 coins, man. Yeah. We say this, can't say this enough. The show is interesting. If you haven't jumped in on it and watched it, I say give it a shot. They got a season 1. It's not super long. It doesn't have a crap ton of episodes. And then we got season 2 that's still pretty much at the beginning, like we just said. This is episode 3 of the new season 2. And I'll tell you what, man, biggest takeaway. I know we had fun and stuff on episode or season 1 because we was calling this one thing Spider Killer Baby or whatever the hell the thing was named. We actually had a spider baby in this episode.
Spider baby.
It was
I guess that's the biggest takeaway. Just that scene alone, just oh my god! I mean, they didn't have to shoot it from certain angles. They could have shot that a little differently, but you got right up in there, and that was some weird ass shit. And, this show's always really weird, always showing you weird creatures and whatnot. But damn,
I will have to say, and this is coming from a man that likes gore, you know what I'm saying? That likes, if it's done the right way, I should say. I just don't like it to like it, but it's if it's in a movie and it needs to be there, like a show like this, obviously there's things that they do where this needs to be there, that kind of thing. But, there's lines that can be crossed or whatnot. And, this has got to be the number one disturbing birth scene I've ever seen in a show, in a movie of all time. So this season, this show, 30 Coins is out here breaking records, man. It's out here breaking records because this is the number one, bar none, number one most disturbing birth scene ever. So we have, one of our heroes from season 1.
I was disturbed.
Oh yeah. But we have one of our heroes from season 1, Paco's wife or whatever, girlfriend now, I guess, whatever. But the woman he fell in love with and everything, but she was one of the heroes that helped save the day. She's in a coma and everything for pretty much all the way through the first 2 episodes. She's awake now. We found that out at the end of the last episode, when Paco does the whole get on his knees in front of all the traffic, and she wakes up finally. So she's there, she's alive, but she got pregnant mysteriously, right? The only thing that we know is a preacher.
Maybe Paco did some stuff.
Man, I don't think Paco was doing the thing. Baby. I don't think Paco was doing the thing, man.
Yeah, well, now we know. Now he's in the clear now.
Yeah,
but there was questions.
So we had a preacher in the last episode show up, and he tries to do whatever to get her out of the thing because he saw the preacher walk into the room and stuff, or the priest, whatever you want to call it. And she's mysteriously pregnant now. And it's a super fast pregnancy. She's been pregnant for maybe a couple of days, and she's already in the 3rd trimester or whatever, right? Fitting to have this baby and everything else. So there's something going on. There's something weird happening. And we get this birth scene, multiple minutes long. And she doesn't have, this is 30 coins, so she's not having no regular baby. I don't even know what the hell the thing, it came out big ball of goo, but God, it was huge. Listen to me now, guys. People do their thing, and they'll make their jokes or whatever, because say a woman's got a lot of kids or whatever, and it's oh shit, man. gonna, I don't even know what I can say here. I'm trying my damnness to be as like cool as I can here, but like, there's that joke. People know what I'm talking about there. But oh my God, this was something huge. This is about the size of a goddamn basketball coming out of the vagina. And it was gross looking. Like the lady who like helps birth it is like fondling it at first. Like, oh my God, what is this? And she drops it. Well, then this damn thing grows like 8 legs. Like, I don't know what the infatuation with spiders is with the people that created this show and this story, but this damn thing turns into basically a baby spider thing, runs around. It may be dead. It may not be. We don't know right now. That's kind of like the thing that happened, but we don't even know why this birth scene happened. Like, just pretend that the spider's actually dead, right? Because like that's what it looks like at the end of the episode. Looks like the spider may be dead or whatever, because they're like poking it with a stick. It's not moving. It stopped moving and everything. Then why in the hell, if the spider is just going to die when it comes out of it, that we had to watch 5 minutes of the most brutal birthing scene I've ever seen in my life?
Well, it's horrible.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now.
I don't think it's that. I think they showed in the what's coming up next that it's still alive.
Okay, so we'll find that out. So maybe it's not pointless, right? Maybe it's not pointless, but still, I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a young girl, teenage girl that might be going into the life, where she starts messing around with the boys or whatever, you get her to watch this episode of 30 Coins. She does not want to get pregnant after that. So she is going to put that JJ on lockdown, son. And I'm telling you right now, this would be the best thing if you're a father of a daughter to get her to watch this right here, because you are not wanting to give birth to anything after watching this. Like I said, and we've talked about it. Well, it's been like 7 minutes. We talked about this scene for like 5 minutes. It's like the biggest thing that happens, basically. Not the biggest thing I'd say, but like it's, oh God. But like we had that happen.
Yeah, it's just like I said, out of the weird stuff and gross stuff that they've shown. I mean, they showed like a baby coming out of like a calf in the first season, right?
Yeah. But that was kind of like normal. That was kind of like, I mean, even though that might be a little gross or whatever, that was kind of more like a normal thing, kind of look like it was like, and it wasn't.
I don't think it's normal for a human to cut. A human baby.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, well, it's normal for the show, I guess you would say. This is like possibly going across the line, but we had evil woman out there doing her thing. She's got the coin. We saw last episode, like the French priest or whatever, like gets his fingers ripped off because that coin she's got's like special or whatever, chose her. It's nobody's taking that coin away from her. She goes and visits this, like, she goes to Mexico City to like visit these guys. It's got like this one guy's got like 3 of the coins or whatever, and she got sent to like go and handle business and do the thing, I guess, like to get the coins from this guy. He doesn't know exactly why she's there and everything. So we get that scene of bro, she like sitting at the table at dinner, and like I think she kills like 8 dudes. Like basically almost explodes the table with the food on it and everything because she thought they were giving her a hard time. She got mad.
Yeah, she did the whole switch, played them because she only showed that she had 1, she had 2, and then she beat them that way. But I think the coolest thing about that whole sequence was the Grim Reaper. Was the Virgin Mary that they dressed up as the Grim Reaper. Who was controlling that? Was that like act of God?
I don't even know because
how did that come alive?
I don't even know, dude. Like, so she takes this dude out. Like some things, look, when you're this crazy, when a show's this crazy, and that's why we like it. I mean, I'm assuming Caleb, that's why you enjoy it. That's why I enjoy it, because it is crazy. So because it's that crazy though, at times, like it gets to where at some points it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Like a lot of the story does make sense, but there's some things that happen that you're like thinking, like she literally kicks these guys' ass at the table, takes this dude's coins because she borrowed 3 from those other guys that we saw earlier in the episode. So she actually technically has 4 at the time, and he's got 3. So technically, the more coins you have, the more power you have. So she like whoops that guy's ass. You know what I'm saying? It was a really badass scenes when she's leaving the room and that dude's yelling at her like, screw you, Spaniard. You know what I'm saying? Like, you may kill me, but you're not doing this or whatever. And like, she just like walks out of the room and she throws up her hands and everything catches fire. So that guy's burning alive. She's escaping. And when she's leaving, like you said, there's like a statue or something that was basically dressed up like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, it's a Virgin Mary statue that they dressed up as the Grim Reaper.
So yeah, so like this is happening and this thing comes alive. But then like the weird part to me is like she's getting her ass beat almost by this Grim Reaper. And like she just like whooped the dude's ass, gained 3 more coins. So now she's got like technically 7 in her possessions. She doesn't even use any of those powers to like try to beat this. Like, I don't even know. Was it mechanical? Was it like something crazy? Because it was weird because like she's trying to get away and everything else.
That's why I think is like it was that God, because it was the Mary, so maybe it was like God in there, you know, trying to get rid of those coins somehow. Because I don't because anything in hell would, I mean, it's supposed to be on her side, so I don't get what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know, because like I'm saying, I don't know if it's like supernatural or supposed to be mechanical or whatever, because she's about to get killed by this thing. And then, you know, the name of the actor, I can't think of it right this second.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti's in the show. So like, you know, he's doing his little things. Like, you don't know if he's bad, good, or whatever. He's kind of like all over the place. And he shows up out of nowhere driving like another vehicle to save the day, but he drives through it. And I could have swore while this is happening, I heard like metal clanking and shit, like, you know, like pieces of metal and stuff falling off and everything whenever he runs through this thing. So like, I'm almost like, well, that's like mechanical. Like, yeah, it's crazy because like what's going on there, I don't know. Like, but anyway, so we had the big ass scythe guy, you know, Grim Reaper got ran over by Paul Giamatti, and Paul Giamatti saves the day. Well, I don't know if he saves the day or not, but he saves her, gets her in the vehicle and drive off. So we had that going on, which, like I said, it had its own crazy thing with the Grim Reaper. We had the baby spider scene, which is going to haunt people's memories for years to come, probably, to be totally honest with you. And then, so those are the 2 big things that happen, along with our evil, used to be Paco's wife, doing her thing, you know, like her story leading up to there. There was one part where she thought her kid, like that she newly got, like basically like this adopted kid, got killed by these dudes. Boy, she was about to whoop their ass. I was pretty interested in like maybe that because her coin's like special to her, maybe she's technically, even though she only had 1 coin, that she actually still has more power than these other 3 guys combined with their coin a piece that they had. I was going to be interested in seeing them fight, but they didn't come to that. We also had the almost like the guy who's like kind of crazy, kind of out of it, you know, like a mental disabled guy who like is putting these pieces together. We had a little bit more story with him, which I thought was decently interesting, but we didn't get a lot from that side. We just got that kind of thing. You know, but that was basically it, you know what I'm saying? Like you had those scenes, you had the couple of things.
A big story point was Paul Giamatti trying to get he has that book.
Oh, dude, like that scene was cool. Yeah, I'm glad you
summoning. We find out that he's trying to summon God, and that's why the demon is trying to recruit Vergara and the other priest, his former friend. He's trying to get them all together because he don't want God coming down to be on, you know, whatever Giamatti's plans are. Obviously, Giamatti said he wanted a new world. I guess he thinks God's going to give him that new world if he summons them.
Bro, that was actually a pretty kick-ass scene.
He's getting his crew together.
Yeah, that was actually a kick-ass scene. I'm glad you brought this up because that I may not have talked about it if you didn't, but like that scene where he earlier in the episode where he's like before he saves the girl, he's got this thing in a briefcase and he's got a blindfold thing on. And he calls a guy over, opens up the briefcase, and tells him to look at it. And the guy looks at it, starts screaming in pain. His eyes start bleeding or whatever. He's just on the ground convulsing.
Yeah.
And Paul Giamatti's character just closes the briefcase back, locks it up, pulls his blindfold off, and then starts walking away. So like that was actually pretty cool. And like you said, pretty big thing.
In Indiana Jones when they open the Ark.
Yeah. Exactly like Indiana Jones, basically. Yeah. It's got a lot of similarities to it.
Basically die.
I mean, and that's like a true point in like religion or whatever. Like they've always said, like if you laid your eyes upon God, like you wouldn't be, as a human being, you wouldn't be able to survive it. Like that's a thing that's been said throughout time, throughout history with like religion. So like it makes sense. And like you said, it's just like Indiana Jones at the very end kind of feel to it. But yeah, you got that going on. And then like one of the only few points, because we don't want to make these things too long. One of the last points I'll make out is like you said, the priest from the last season who died falling off the balcony. He's like in some kind of purgatory or hell. I don't know what you want to call it. But there's some like cool scenery with that. You know, we both like the monsters and the demons and everything that they have in this show. And they're all like doing these things. It's almost like torture even to themselves and all this. He walks up to this pool of blood and he can see some things. And then, but the thing that I'm trying to figure out is like, I guess the demon or whatnot from the first season who was kind of like in control, but like he didn't like step in. It's almost like certain things like he can't get involved in. Like he can't save the day, right? Like he can only do so much. Like he can try to set up everybody getting the coins to possibly bring the Antichrist or whatever they're trying to ultimately do, or the devil himself, whatever. I guess the Antichrist would still be the devil, kind of like Jesus is God kind of thing. So like he's in the first season, he's trying to do that. But in this, he's actually like almost like helping the priest that ended season 1. Like it's like he's trying to help him. He's like, hey man, do your thing, like be careful, do this. And he's like helping the priest out along. And it's like, bro, like, so what's happening? Like, so I guess like what you're saying is Paul Giamatti's character is trying to bring God down, basically to end this.
Because I think,
right?
Yeah, because I think Giamatti mentioned before that he's already dealt with the devil, and he says, "You can't give me what I want." So I guess he's going to God to get what he wants, and going that way.
Paul Giamatti's character is pretty damn interesting. Like I'm not gonna lie, as far as like a new character being introduced in a season of a show, Paul Giamatti character is pretty badass and pretty interesting, just to be totally honest. So like I'm deep diving into his character, like, oh my God, what's happening? Because his character does seem really cool. And like I said, so it's almost like the bad guy from season 1 is kind of like not really a good guy, but like he's helping them out just because as a demon, he sure as hell doesn't want God to come down and everything else. Like he doesn't want that to happen. Yeah. So that obviously mess up his plan. So like, I guess he's going to try to like him and the priest in this other world or whatever is going to do some things to try to help out Paco and them being able to ultimately, I guess, stop God from coming. It was like they were stopping. It kind of makes sense, to be honest with you. Season 1, they were trying to stop the devil or the Antichrist. Season 2, it looks like maybe they end up trying to stop God from coming down, because that's also probably going to be the inhumanity. If God were to come down to earth, you know what I'm saying? Like that's it. Like it's end times. Then it's time for judgment. If he comes down, you know, you get him off his seat and he comes down to the earth. Well, it's going to be,
and that's what Paul Giamatti wants. He wants everybody to basically done with this earth so he can get a new world. That's kind of his whole deal. That's his whole plan, I guess.
So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of interesting threads and things that you can look at, and you can tell certain things and stuff in this show, which makes it intriguing. Then there's the craziness. Like almost every episode, we have some crazy ass shit, crazy ass people dying. Now in this episode, there wasn't a lot of death, so I guess like the crazy the craziest.
Well, you didn't need the death when after that scene.
Yeah. So like, well, you had the guys sitting at the table. I'm assuming they're all dead. Like the guys that were at the table when homegirl got mad. So like that's about the only death scene like you really had in this episode. But you still got the craziness, like you had the baby spider being delivered and that whole scene. Like I said, that's probably one of the most disturbing scenes you'll probably ever see, especially like on a show, right? Like maybe there's some crazy ass shit on a movie somewhere, that somebody did before, but I don't know about a show and everything else. But hey, man, it's what drives it. Like I've said, one of the earlier reviews on this show, you have to kind of like be okay with the fact that like there's these little, maybe a plot hole here or there, maybe something doesn't make 100% sense, but they're doing it for a reason. And the main part of the story is really interesting, with like the religion part of it, with the crazy part of it all together, wrapped all in one bow, because it's not like it's like with the religion involved, just makes it interesting in the different like deities and demons and stuff like that we're dealing with. So yeah, man, like it. I like the episode. Now I will say, I don't know if where I'd rank this episode so far of what we've seen. We've seen 3 episodes. I actually think all 3 are pretty even, to be real honest with you. I've enjoyed all 3.
Yeah.
It's
very consistent. It's a very consistent show.
Yeah.
With at least episode to episode, it's like pretty consistent. It's like there's no kind of up and downs. Like some is a good episode, bad episode, boring episode, whatnot. This show's actually pretty consistent all the way through the seasons.
Yeah, I have to say, like, so far there hasn't been like this episode that like knocks it out of the park, right? But it's like they're all triples, right? Which is still good. You know what I'm saying? They're just not home runs, but they're all triples. And like you said, if you like an episode of this show, you're going to pretty much like every episode that you watch, because there's always some interesting story that happens. There's always usually an interesting death that happens. If you like that kind of stuff, there's some kind of gory thing that happens in it, and that kind of thing. And it happens pretty consistently throughout season 1 and so far in season 2. So yeah, it just keeps me like involved, man. It keeps me like right there. The one thing I say is like you don't have to shy away from the show, like if you don't like scary stuff, because it's not technically like really scary. It's more like just like gruesome at spots and everything else and all that. I mean, dude, I still laugh when I think about that damn guy who got just slaughtered by that fucking drone. Like, what was it, episode 1? Wasn't it? Like that drone got that drone chopped his ass up. He flew back like 50 feet. That shit's still hilarious. And then the last episode, we had the guy who got killed by the Force because she just picks the guy up after he's like trying to rub on her leg, and she picks that guy up and like real high up in the air and just lets him fall to his death. That kind of stuff's going on. You like that kind of thing, man? You're going to enjoy this. It's fun and everything else. But before we get out of here, Caleb, you got any like last things to say? Maybe something we may have missed?
No, just completely disturbed by that scene. But I mean,
bro, that was messed up.
That's all I can say.
That was messed up. But it's part of the reason why I like the show. So it's not turning me off. But God, if I watch this last episode again, I might skip that part of it, to be totally honest with you. And that's saying something for me. With that being said, man, everybody, thank you for the support. If you're out there watching, if you watch this on YouTube afterwards, we've been doing these at 10:15 Central start time on Thursdays, talking about the new episode that happens. That I think they come out on Tuesday nights, but we get together Thursday nights to kind of talk about it and discuss some of the things. And if we see anything interesting, or if we think we may have a theory, that's crazy. Like, I like to talk about these things and like maybe try to come up with like a theory about what we think may happen. But this is one of those shows that's really kind of hard to do that, man. It's like, what are you going to do? Like, I got a theory about the next monster they're going to use. I guarantee it's got some damn spider legs, and every damn one of them's at it. I can tell you that. That'll be my theory going forward is going to be 100% correct. But nah, man, it's a fun show to talk about, and trying to give y'all some like entertainment and like reviews that don't last like 2 hours like some of them do. But thank you guys, anybody that watched while we were live. And like I said, next week, if you want to join us live, catching this on YouTube, come and join us at 10:15 Central Time on Thursday nights. That's whenever we cover this. And we also got other stuff we got on the channel. Because of the strikes are over with, the stuff should be picking up. We should be getting more and more news to talk about and everything else. So we'll be doing some news breaks here and there, along with just our watch alongs. And we also have going on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's kind of like a retro review series called the Rewatchers Council. That's going on right now. I think they're on episode 2 or about to do episode 2 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So if you like that show and want to kind of relive the magic, because that's a very popular show, go and hit them up on that, man. It'd be perfectly. Thank you guys for all that stuff. Like and subscribe. Make a comment down. What's your favorite part of the episode? Put a comment down below talking about your favorite part, and we'll interact with that. If you put a comment down below talking about something that we've discussed so far in the first 3 episodes, we'll talk about that in our next review. We'll bring that up or whatnot, and discuss, like, if you have a theory, if you like a certain scene or something like that, or even think we're wrong, put it in the comment section, man. We'll get up with you on the next week. But with that being said, until next time, peace. As soon as I was about to hit the thing, the roll the outro, I think a little reminder popped up on my computer screen blocking it. But with that being said, peace, guys. Out.